Yeah.
We can walk on through where it goes from there.
Right, where are we heading now, Mark?
Into the wood shop.
Yeah. You are slightly swimming against the tide, aren't you? In fact, not slightly, you're substantially swimming.
Oh, we are, in fact, in the way we're actually building a traditional sports car.
Yeah.
In the old-fashioned style.
And what is the wood used mostly?
It's all ash wood, basically. And it will be planed and cut to an appropriate shape.
Their pride seems to be in manufacturing from the furthest back state that they can buy the basic raw material. I mean, I'm surprised they don't start with the tree, actually.
The layout of the factory is actually historic.
I'd assumed.
This factory was started in 1919.
Yeah.
The layout's absolutely unbelievable. And no wonder they have to start by putting the wheels on, because the car chassis is pushed up and down this hill for every additional step to be carried out. That's all money, all time, and all wasted expense.
Cockpit area will be panelled.
Yeah.
You go to the far end of the shop and the wings and the car will be fitted into the centre for the bonnet to be fitted.
I accept the need to hand-build the car, but they don't even like to use power tools. And everything is done in the most basic way. I cannot see that a Morgan owner is going to be fussed whether people use a hand file or an electrical abrasive, or whether they use hand snips or power snips.
How long have you been working here?
25 years, the first to next month.
Bloody hell. Did you do your apprenticeship here? How long does it take to train up in sheet metal working now?
They've dropped it down to 4 years now. It was 5 when I did my apprenticeship. You get people coming from other industry into here and they struggle.
But I mean, this is going to be such a limiting factor on anything you want to do.
It is.
That's something you'll have to give here.
Yeah.
This is the shop that counts with regard to the actual finished article.
We have certain planned batches that we produce in certain periods of time.
But I mean, do you have a planning system or a planning office or a...
We don't have a planning office. It's, again, literally done individually, actually, in the shops concerned and related. The sales office really controls the flow of production. Each week they will issue a ticket saying that is the number of cars we're going to produce on such a day.
How do you do? Glad to meet you.
We're going around at our production.
Marvelling, actually. I haven't seen some of the lathes you got. I haven't seen since I was a bloody boy. Now, what's the reward system? How are the bonuses set up? Are they work measured or are they...
Largely work measured, yes. Basically with a discussion between the foreman, in some cases the person concerned, and obviously...
But I mean, do you have a work study officer here with a stopwatch and that sort of thing?
No, we don't.
No.
It's all a case of, again,
What,
trusted operation.
Experience. And,
we've got a good idea how long it
yeah.
takes to make a component, for instance. The foreman obviously has, in most cases, actually made the component, so you could say to him, well, look, how long is it? Right, John. One Morgan Plus 8 if you'd like to try.
Thank you very much, Dean. Which model is this?
This is a Plus 8 with a Rover 3.5 litre V8 fuel injected in.
My gosh, I hope you... you may never see me again. Thanks a lot,
Enjoy your trip.
Well done. My golly, this thing sure can go. I hope it can stop as well as it can move.
I'm really deeply concerned about this company.
It is run in a totally unbusinesslike way. There are so many ways in which the profitability could be improved, in which production could be improved, but all of them involve radical change. The present approach of just trying to sort of foothill their way through to one more car a week and then another car a week is absolutely hopeless. every single person I've met is imbued with a real fear of change. So there's an enormous inbuilt wish to hang on to the way it's been. Now, I think the way it's been is almost automatically doomed because it will become just too expensive. They need to put more investment in. They need to be willing to change a number of ways. And I'm not by any means sure that they actually have the capability to do all of that.
I'm convinced this factory can make a lot more cars. Now I need to meet Derek Day, the sales director, to find out what the actual demand for the car is before I decide what we should be aiming for in terms of numbers.
Well,
Yes, yes.
if you could wave a magic wand, what do you think the sustainable demand is? And then why do you think that?
I think realistically, if we could aim for something in the region of anything between 450 and 500 as a realistic figure, taking into consideration the way the car is made, I don't think it'd be right to mass produce it. I think it'd lose its individuality.
No,
its
but you're
appeal.
working the other way around. You're working on what you think you could produce. You're not
Yes.
working on what you think you could sell.
I think that would be it.
But that number is without any form of back-selling or advertising. The cars, for all practical purposes, sell themselves, don't they? I mean,
They do, they do. I mean, my job, well, mine and the rest
I mean, you're
of the staff-
really a rationer of cars.
Well, yes, if you'd like to put it that way, yes.
What is the waiting list now? I mean, how
Roughly
long?
about 6 years on a home market, yes.
But I mean, you talk almost as though you think that's about right.
Well, it's demand against production, and, you know,
No, but I mean, you know, production is something you can do things about. And that is, I understand, one of the things that is being debated.
Yes, we're trying to increase production.
But the starting point is still really what the demand for this car could be, and we really don't know.
No, there is no, that's absolutely true.
You're the guy I've always wanted to meet, the non-sales manager.
That's true.
Now I want to meet Maurice Owen, the development engineer, because nobody else in this factory is thinking ahead. And you actually can't be a development engineer unless you're willing to think about change.
The way we make the car, I think, is wrong. I think we should build them in different units. Build the body separately, build the chassis separately, and put the engines in at the end.
Well, that would make logical sense
Oh, I
to
think
me.
so. Because,
But you see,
we
there's
have
such a...
thousands of pounds all around the factory, just lying there in cars for 12, 14 weeks.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I mean, it's
wrong,
one of the
isn't it?
things that really worries me. For a car to spend 3 months in manufacture in this factory with all the attendant costs seems to me to be absolutely crazy.
No, I think so. So I quite agree.
Now, if you look at it as a businessman, it's not a business.
Which isn't, no, no.
See you tomorrow then, lads.
I should be most interested what you think, and what you felt, you know, having gone round.
Well, there's
places
good news
for a
and
long
bad.
time.
Good news and bad news, of course, as always in these things. First of all, I mean, a company that isn't progressing is actually regressing, because the world is moving against you. And in your case, I think I can see the ways in which the world is going to move against you. Unless you can actually make the money when you have the demand there, you are not going to have the money to invest. And slowly but surely, your own manufacturing methods are going to catch up with you, because you'll be rewarding you have to reward your people at the rate of inflation, and slowly but surely the car will become more and more and more expensive relative to other products. So over a period of time, it won't happen quickly. Over a period of time, even though you've got this order position, you'll find the thing erodes. I have never been anywhere where there is such total conservatism with the little c. There's such fear that changing anything, anywhere, is going to destroy the magic. So my diagnosis, quite honestly, is any change is going to be a hell of a battle. Therefore, you may as well go for more radical change because you only get shot once.
Of course, tradesmen are, you mentioned conservatism. Yes, we all are conservative, and my workers are too. There's no doubt about it, because change comes very, very hard indeed, you know.
In your shoes, I want the capability of making another 300 cars a year, maybe 400 cars a year. And if you had that capability, then it would be extensible beyond that.
You know, the only thing here that I would say is that a lot of people who have been very, very experienced have attempted to make, you know, a sports car like ours and be successful even at selling the numbers we do, and have failed with all the best information at their disposal. So there must be something that we're doing sort of right at the moment.
Oh, no,
and,
you are.
And I think that I accept your criticism entirely of slow change. And obviously that at the moment is the policy of the company. But it is beginning to work.
He went against our ideas somewhat insofar as he wasn't impressed with kind of going for one extra car a week. He thought, oh, it should be 300 and no more, and no difficulty with 1,000 cars. Between us, certainly, we're not without experience here of trying to make more cars or how we do it. And I think he is of interest. He's impressed with the firm going as long as it has been and still in existence. But no, I think I would like to go round the floor here and ask for your queries.
Well, I did find him quite knowledgeable, actually, and I was surprised, really, you know, having just been here for a day, how informed he was about the makeup of the car. And but equally, I think we should go for 10 cars and see how we go from there.
A move to, say, 800 cars a year is an enormous step. But nevertheless, when you think of our suppliers, you're still a small manufacturer making 800 cars or 400 cars, but you've doubled the problems, really, with going for 800, haven't you?
So the practicality of producing 300 vehicles, as we do at the moment, in the space we've got, it's impossible, I would have said.
I got a certain amount of sympathy with his feeling that, you know, the waiting list is pretty strong. Maybe what we ought to think about is starting from base and actually looking at the whole way, you know, the car progresses through the factory. And, you know, with the help of new machinery and perhaps even a little bit of new technology. But with that proviso that, you know, we don't want to change anything, really, because everybody loves the car as it is.
It'll be interesting when Sir John does come back with his kind of final ideas or suggestions, and in the meantime we should probably still try and make more cars.
Well, we are trying to do it, but we've had a bloke the last 2 weeks been on holiday, which has made it a bit difficult. But we're hoping to do 10 this week, starting from now.
If we do 10 a week for quite some considerable time, will they still want the cars? See, Mr. Morgan said that, I presume his father told him that not to increase output because it'll ruin the market. This is what I understand. So, well, I mean, I've been here for 40 years, and he never said anything about doing 10 cars to me, only just recently, you know, like. He's been perfectly happy with 9 cars a week.
I'm convinced this factory needs radical change if it is to survive.
It needs looking at the way the car is built de novo.
And they have at the moment got a real opportunity. Everything's going for them and nothing stops them except themselves.
The difficulty I'm in is that I've already seen how conservative and how frightened of change both Peter and Charles are. So I've developed a strategy which is to suggest that they should undertake a study. After all, that doesn't actually expose them to any risk, except the risk of finding out what could be done. The study should force them to then